Hi, I'm Chef Pants, and today I'm gonna make a miniature photo booth. Ooh. So it's snowing and cold today, so it's a little bit chilly here in the workshop, but it looks a lot different than the last time you saw it. And that is because we are currently in the process of redoing the entire garage. But I'm gonna show you that in a different video because there's too much cool stuff that's going into the workshop that's gonna be really exciting for some upcoming projects. So next time. Now today's video is gonna be a little bit different because usually I have it a lot more planned out than I do today. And so far on this channel, we've done a lot of 3D printing. So today I wanted to do a video where we didn't use any 3D printing at all. And so I was thinking, okay, what can I make? You know, what's been populating my Pinterest page or my Instagram lately? And then I realized I've sort of been obsessed with photo booths lately. Like the European photo booths, the one that say like Photo Automatica on them. But I really want to make a scale model version of that from scratch. Specifically from this material called styrene, which is this plastic sheet material that's really great for stuff like model making. And I make stuff out of styrene all the time. I mean, this past year, I made this. This is my version of a newspaper dispenser. Specifically one from the Halloween films, or more specifically, one from the day after Halloween, which has the newspaper of the events from the film. Now, truth be told, I have already made this thing. So let's go back in time a few weeks and hang out as I try and figure out how to make this thing. If there's anything else I really need right now. Sketching to get my dimensions right. And I'm not super concerned about getting exact measurements for this. Again, this is sort of just my interpretation of one of these machines. I just want you to be able to look at it and sort of understand exactly what it is and what I'm trying to do. This will be our door height. And this is sort of how easy it is to cut styrene. And now that we've scored the plastic, we should just be able to, boom, nice clean cut. All right, now that we have this piece, I'll go ahead and score this. Then we'll make an identical sized rectangle to this on this side. All right, so now we have two perfectly identical pieces of styrene. And this will be the front face and the back face of our booth. Beautiful. Now I do need two more pieces that are gonna make the floor and the roof of our booth. So now we're starting to get the shape of the box. All right, so here's where we're at so far. Got our main body of the photo booth. What I have to do now is attach the top part, and then this enclosure right here will sort of act as our light box for the Photo Automatica sign. And then we're gonna have to figure out what color we want for the inside of the booth, because after that, we're gonna start laying down a lot of the detailing. What I'd like to do right now is cut out the door, because then I can start seeing and getting a visual of what we're actually doing. Boom. Hi. We've got the start to our booth. The light box is assembled. Right now, I'm gonna go paint this. I'm spending a lot of time on this specific thing which is not gonna get seen very much at all. But I'm also okay with that. Actually, I have an idea for that. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I've got an idea. So I made this little buck. Now, to preface this, I would have just 3D printed this, but because this specific build, I didn't want to do any 3D printing, I scratch built this buck out of styrene. And what a buck is, it's a form specifically meant for something like this, and this is a vacuum former. I might as well just show you. Well, it didn't not work. Let's give it one more go. I think that was a success. Easy peasy. Now I should just be able to trim this up and drop it into there. All right, so here's where we're at so far. We've got our little photo wall with the light installed. And next is going to be filling out the details of this section because we're getting very close to finally being able to work on the face of the photo booth. I think the next step is going to be creating the tile for the floor here. You can see that gradually during these kinds of projects specifically, my workspace starts to get really cluttered, mostly with little tiny bits of styrene. It can be a lot. Just under 7.5. And for the floor, I printed out this checker pattern, which is printed on this clear translucent paper. So I'll stick that onto here. We should be good to go. So last night I installed this back wall, which has sort of a quarter panel of wood. I think I'll put a piece of trim here. One of the things I have to do next is I have to work on this light box. I installed these LEDs in the back and they are all connected to the LEDs that are in the light box, and I got one accent LED right here. I'm gonna wire this through and solder these up so that we have one single power connector coming through the bottom, which will go into our base and connect to our power source. I really like this switch. Go ahead and plug this in. On, boom, boom, boom. I guess they are pretty bright. Last night I made this out of some scrap junk. Now I think is a good time to go paint this. That's just crazy to me how one coat of paint completely transforms something. That's gonna look great in there. And there's a real washer at the bottom that definitely had like a bit of rust. And I think that that oxidation is gonna bleed through the paint and give it a little bit more realism, which I like. So, yay me. All right, I'm gonna let that dry. So next I think we should work on the curtain, because the curtain's gonna be a big thing, but how are we gonna do that? I wonder if we can heat one of these up and then bend it. You know, at first, maybe I should cut this to length. Dude, I need to trim the top, but that is a curtain. That can get painted and it'll look just like fabric. With a rod going through it? Hell yeah. Yeah. Now I want this slightly textured side to be the outside since it looks more like fabric. Get out of here. And then behind our thing, it'll look like that. All right. Do I make simulated curtain rings? Keep losing them. All right, let's start with those. Dude, that's made of plastic. That is awesome. All right, well, we're obviously gonna have to paint this red. That is a styrene curtain. To me, this is one of the coolest like single pieces of a project that I've ever made. Our stool is looking good. I'm probably gonna have to let this dry overnight and then hit it with a coat of matte finish, because right now it's a little bit too glossy to be a curtain. We got a few things. One, I printed out the little sign that goes right here that has the instructions on how to use the photo booth and also some examples of the different ones people have done. This is our translucent Photo Automatica sign that goes behind here. And so that'll get glued into place and that should slot in and the light behind it will sort of illuminate the sign. I quickly cut out our little photo dispenser. This will get painted silver. What else? Oh, our mirror. Our mirror is going to go right here, but I noticed that usually the mirror takes up the full length of this. It's very sort of even. I'm thinking that I'm going to use another one of these and place it right below it and then draw sort of a line so it looks like this mirror has been broken at some point. I think that'll just add to the aesthetic. But right now, I think what I'm going to do is get this and this sort of glued into place. Then I can start creating the styrene border that goes around it. I think we'll be off to the races. Where is my super glue? Oh, and the curtain has now dried. It's got much more of a matte finish. It's still a little bit more glossy than I would like, but how good does this look? So there's a few problems. One being there's a couple light leaks. The face of our building is not quite squared up. So there's a few things I'm gonna have to do to remedy those. But otherwise, it is looking freaking awesome. Welcome back. Time travel. Since I last saw you, got some hot chocolate. So here is our final piece. Ta-da! I really, really like this thing. I think the only gripe that I really have with it is the fact that the finish of the black side like collects a lot of dust, like very fast, very quickly. So I have to clean it regularly. But there's still a few details that I want to do. One, I want to make a plaque that goes down here that just has the name of the project and the maker, which is me, chefpants. Now, eventually, I think I will put an actual photo strip that's a little bit more personal to me and my life on here to display with it. But in the meantime, I think I'm gonna take some goofy photos and then mock up a photo strip. And then I'm gonna make like a really, really tiny version of that that's gonna hang out a little photo strip dispenser down here. So I know earlier in the video I had mentioned some changes happening to the workshop, and I thought I'd give you a little sneak peek. So to make this plaque, I'm gonna use my laser cutter, which is not a 3D printer. It's not. But I've been struggling on where to put my laser cutter because it requires sort of so much infrastructure in and of itself. And that's when I got the idea of putting it in a drawer in my workbench. And that's exactly what I did. Ta-da! So this drawer is inside the workbench and I just pull it out when I need it and slide it back in when I don't. But it's got my laptop down here and my tools and stuff. So I'm gonna power this on and we're gonna make a plaque. Eventually I'm gonna have to incorporate some sort of stand for my laptop and also like a better cable management system. But until then it works. There we go. All right. Now, start. And we're off. All right, the laser's done. So that was a fail. I just didn't quite nail the settings on the cut pass to actually cut the thing out. So I'm gonna do that again. At least I didn't spell it wrong. So while the laser is going, I guess we should probably do the photos against this white wall for the photo strip. So I'm just gonna do some random poses and stuff, and we're gonna turn those into the images. I hate taking photos. Oh, this is stupid. Maybe this should be the thumbnail. That's how cold it is in here. Okay, you should let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this video or not, because this is slightly different than the ones I usually do. But I've also been thinking about doing more of these as sort of more of just like a hangout kind of video where I'm making something and it's a little bit closer to like a vlog style on top of the videos that I usually do. I just think it'll be fun to do one of these every once in a while. So let me know. Second cut is done. Let's see. It did a little too well. All right, here it is before I clean it up. Let's grab a shop towel. Ah, no. All right, so now that the plaque is done, I'm gonna go and create the little photo strip using those photos and make the miniature photo strip as well as the one that's gonna sit right here. So let's go do that. Hello, it is the next day and I made the little photo strip to go with our Photo Automatica machine. Obviously this one's just a temporary one with the photos that we took yesterday. But look at this. It's a tiny version that'll go right there. So it'll look sort of something like, will this stay? It'll sort of look like that. I'm just gonna have to glue it in place. Not super permanently, because again, I'd like to replace it with maybe a smaller version of an actual photo strip one day. But for right now, I think that's gonna look really cool. I just noticed that the skeleton fell over and is currently eating the Del Taco sign. All right, let's finish this thing up. I need some tweezers. That was probably too much, but it's fine, it's fine. Press that in there. Bada bing, bada boom, baby. Mwah, I love it, I love it. Yeah. It's Electric City, man. I have this weird sort of giddy excitement whenever I finish a project. Sometimes, you know, the opposite is true, where I finish a project and I'm like, I don't want to look at this thing ever again, but this is definitely not the case. And the little things about it, like I love the way that the light up sign came out. Really like the way that it looks. This makes me super happy. My favorite part, like without a doubt, is the curtain. I mean, I had no idea how I was gonna do that. And the fact that it was just an idea that could have gone horribly wrong and somehow turned out pretty dang good, I'm stoked. And now I get to live with it. Now I'm gonna put it in my office and I'm gonna get to stare at it for a while until I find some other place. But man, thanks for hanging out with me while I made this. All right.